Hey, what's up guys, Nick here. I wanted to shoot a quick video for you because there is a very interesting lesson that can be learned from what I'm about to show you. So most of you know I do have a money back guarantee with my course, where if you actually implement what you learn and it doesn't work out for you, within 30 days you can get your money back. It's listed on the course page, but basically you actually have to do work. You have to gather, at least 50 leads, go through them, skip trace them, call them, and if it's not working, then I'll give you your money back. But something really interesting happened today, and I want to share it with you. So I had a student, they did the work. They got their leads. Here's on this left side of the screen. They sent me the spreadsheet of leads that they had gotten. And I think they've been a student for, let's see how long they've been a student for. I think it's been about a month now. Yeah, because they took advantage of my Memorial Day special. So they've been working the process for the last 30 days. And they did great. Like they got all of these leads, they got names, they skip traced them. If you notice here, let me scroll over. They even called them, right here, they called them. This particular lead was called on July 1st. So they did the work, and they contacted me and said, this isn't working for me. I'd like to request a refund. So, they did the work. I'll give it to them. But here is something that is so interesting. On the right-hand side of my screen, what you'll see is an email from a different student of mine. They both took the same course. It's the exact same information that they had. Notice here the amount of this overage, and then compare that to this overage in the spreadsheet, and what do you see? It's the exact same number, right? Not only that, but here is the name of the claimant, who happens to be deceased. So Nell Payne. Now look on the spreadsheet. What do you see? Nell Payne. The exact same lead, right? So I had two students who happened to get the same lead, but here is the difference. This email is from my student telling me, requesting me to send documents to the actual claimant. In this case, it's an heir. So this student, Michael's about to get his first, they haven't signed it yet, but we're going to send them a contract. He's on the cusp of getting his first deal. And this other student didn't get this deal. So what is the difference? What can we learn from this this example? Right? We have one student who's asking for a refund because they're not seeing results. They've been doing the work for the last 30 days. They bought my course during Memorial Day. Today is July 7th. So they've been working the process. They've been doing a good job. But now they're giving up. And then there's another student who's requesting documents to be sent to a lead. So what's the difference? Why is one quitting and one seeing more result? Or why has one gotten farther than the other? Here's the takeaway. Success in the overage business comes from very small, minute increments and minute details. I can tell you what the difference is, what happened between these two students. They both did the work, but here is where this one on the left-hand side of the screen failed, and this one on the right-hand side of the screen succeeded. Here's the difference. The one with the spreadsheet, This student, you can see here, they have the phone numbers of the homeowner, and they called them, but they stopped. And that's not what I teach. They stopped on what I call the first level. Now, this is going to go a little bit into skip tracing. When I skip trace people, I go 3 levels deep. What does that mean? I contact the claimant. If I can't get a hold of the claimant, I move to level 2, relatives. If I can't get a hold of any relatives, I move to level 3, neighbors and associates. And I teach that in my course. And I show you how to do that. But that's the difference in this example that I'm showing you. This student on this side, they only went 1 level deep. They only called the homeowner. They didn't reach out to any relatives. They just made the phone calls, called them once and left it at that. Whereas this student over here, Michael, he went at least 2 levels deep, and I know this for sure because I'm not showing you the whole email sequence for privacy, but he got a hold of this person's granddaughter. And that's when we learned, well, this person's actually deceased now, but now we are in touch with the heirs. And so that's the takeaway, is whether or not you get a deal comes down to how much work you're going to put into it. And if you follow the instructions very carefully. They both did the work. The student on this left-hand side, they did the work, but they didn't do the work completely. They only went 1 level deep on their skip trace, and then they stopped. Whereas this person went at least 2 levels deep, and now they're getting a contract signed out or sent out. So keep in mind, the more work you're willing to do on a case, the deeper you're willing to go, the greater the chance that you're going to get that deal. And I teach you these things in my course. I teach you the tricks. I teach you the things that I've learned that have given me a competitive advantage. But at the end of the day, guys, that is how you'll see success, is what are you willing to do that your competitor isn't? And this is a prime example of that. One person was willing to call phone numbers for the claimant. Another person was willing to call phone numbers for the claimant. So that's level 1. And then level 2 is they called relatives. It's really ugly. Anyway. And now they're sending out the contract, and this person's quitting. So keep that in mind. 1, trust the process. Trust the process and do exactly as it's outlined. But also, be willing to work hard on these cases. I'm not saying this student didn't work hard. They did work hard. But here's the facts. This person worked a little bit harder. And that is the difference between seeing results and not seeing results, is that little bit of extra effort that you put into a case. That little bit of extra effort is the difference between whether you succeed or whether you fail. Here's a prime example as well. I had a case once where the lady, I was up against at least 2 other companies that had contacted her that I knew about, because she told me, the client told me, she called me up and she's like, listen, I've gotten calls from a bunch of other companies. Tell me what the deal is and why I should go with you. And so I told her what the deal was. And long story short, She ended up signing with me. We got the deal done. We recovered $60,000. It was an $18,000 payday for me. And after all of that was said and done, I asked her, why did you choose me over the other companies? And this is what she said. She said, because you took the time to write a letter. And I was just blown away by that. That's all it took. Is these other companies, all they were doing were calling, whereas I called her, but I also sent her a letter. And so I put a little more effort into it than my competitors. And because of that effort, because of that extra little bit of work, I got the deal, which ended up being an $18,000 payday. So remember that, guys. The person willing to go the extra mile is the person that is going to win. That's the takeaway. That's all I have for you today. I hope that was helpful. Hope you learned something. Again, if you want help with this, you can check out my course, school.overagecourse.com, where I teach you how to skip trace, teach you how to find these leads. You know, this student did great work. They did amazing work. They got all of these leads, they skip traced them, but they didn't follow the process completely, meaning they only skip trace down to one level. And I teach you how to go 2 levels, 3 levels deep, find relatives, find associates, find neighbors, skip trace those folks, reach out to them, because sometimes you can't always get a hold of the homeowner just using their phone numbers. That's just the reality. And so I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say that skip tracing is very difficult for them. It's not. The problem usually is you're not going deep enough in your skip trace. The problem most people have is they find contact info for the claimant and the homeowner only, and then they leave it at that. And if you're only doing that, that's not good enough in most cases. And so you need more extra. You need more. You need to find relatives. You need to find neighbors. And I teach you how to do that. And that's obviously what happened in this case. Is, again, one student went 1 level deep. Another student went 2 levels deep. And I already explained what that means as far as 1, 2, 3 levels deep. Anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful. If you want to learn how I work the process, go to school.overagecourse.com, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.